I agree.
Let's get to the SEC, where a
Enjoy it while it
weird
lasts.
situation is going on with the Florida Gators and head coach Jim McElwain. So leading up to their matchup against number 3 Georgia this week, Jim McElwain said that he received death threats. Take a listen to this.
You know, the hard part is obviously when the threats against your own players, the death threats to your families, you know, the ill will that's brought upon out there. And yet, you know, I think it's really one of those deals that really is a pretty good testament to what's going on out there nationally. There's a lot of angry people.
So Georgia pounds Florida today. The final in this one, 42-7. Running back Sony Michel had 137 yards, 2 touchdowns. But today, multiple reports surfaced that said the University of Florida was actually looking to see if they had cause to fire McElwain because no proof was ever found that he received death threats. And after the game, Jim McElwain sounded like he knows his time in Gainesville may be short.
What I was brought here to do, look, we haven't been good on offense. I get it. We've won a few games, but we haven't won enough. Haven't won a championship. That's real. That's life. That is this business. And I take full responsibility for all of it. There's no doubt. Like I said, my concern has to do with those players and, you know, seeing them in that locker room and seeing that staff that's worked so hard to, you know, get to where we are even at now.
There are a lot of weird things that go on in college football. I have never heard of anything like this. Like,
I agree.
The university hiring an investigator to see if he actually received death threats. It's just a weird situation.
I completely agree. And you know, the weird part is through his first 2 seasons, this is McElwain's 3rd season, Tim. Through 2 seasons, he's got 19 wins. It ties Steve Spurrier for the old ball coach's first 2 years win total while coaching Florida. He wins back-to-back SEC East championships. You know, it's been a down year, and he's right. I thought his assessment of his own squad was right. They're piss poor offensively, and I know things seem weird, but this to me bothers me. Something about them trying to force him out and justifying that the death threats comment he made, which agreed was weird. It was a vague comment. He didn't really get specific, and then he kind of backtracked knowing that reporters latched on to those claims, which should be taken seriously. But I almost feel like the university's taking these claims seriously just so they can find out that there's nothing there, and so they have grounds to fire him, and they can get out of the $12.9 million buyout. It's college football coaching circuit is so fickle. It's like the first little day of a bad month, and then just any which way. There were no death threats. Let's get him out. Let's use that to kind of pull the string and have this whole thing unravel so we can get off the hook for $13 million and send McElwain kicking rocks down the street.
There's no other way to explain it. I think Dylan is spot on with that. They don't want him to be their head coach anymore. And I want to be like, what do you want?
And they don't want to pay him.
He's brought you 2
either.
divisional championships. But the thing is, it's the style of play. You know, it's amazing when you're a fan base or you followed a team for a while, you want them to play a very specific way. You're a Raiders fan, right? You want them to be smash mouth. You want them to be borderline dirty. You want them to be physical because that's what you've used to watching the Raiders.
Eye gouging,
for
wedgies,
all those years.
right.
Yeah, that's what you want from them.
Swirlies.
Like when you watch Florida football, you know what you want to see? 500 passing yards. 6 touchdowns, up and down the field, explosive on offense, because we got used to watching that during Steve Spurrier with Danny Warfel into Chris Leak into Urban. They played a certain style. So if you're a Gators fan, you don't want to see them win 13-6. You're like, I'll watch this.
And even though you win 2 East titles back-to-back, it wasn't, I think you're absolutely right, it's not in the vein you want it to win. You're not beating teams 42-30. It's ugly. It's more Big Ten style of football. This whole thing is so weird.
You take Alabama, and this is I'm sure a lot of coaches love to take Alabama out of the SEC.
Sure.
What's Florida over the last 2 years? Competing for a national championship? Right
Possibly.
there, maybe winning the SEC, and it's just like, be careful
I feel
what
like
you
I've
wish
had to
for.
say this multiple times this season specifically. Is this like another Les Miles situation? You just get unhappy at LSU and you say, let's bring in Ed Orgeron. He's going to fix everything. And then we lose to Troy.
Yeah.
Bo Pelini at Nebraska.
Right.
Yeah.
And it all happened so quick, you know. I mean, how the mighty have fallen. You know, I remember not that long ago, he's jockeyed up buck naked on a shark, living at the top of the world, enjoying the heck out of life.
It wasn't him.
It wasn't?
No.
Are you sure?
No, he's not sure.
The hips, it really looked like McElwain hips, and I know McElwain hips. Very, very
That
aware.
hair, though, huh?